City of Mullins administration and council members want to keep you informed. Please join us now for the City of Mullins Council meeting.
It's approximately 6:03. We want to welcome everyone to our City Council meeting here at the Raymond Bridge Auditorium. It's Tuesday, May the 11th, 2021, 6 o'clock p.m. It's our first public council meeting back in the auditorium. So we're going to officially call this meeting to order. Once again, we welcome everybody. We're going to ask that we have the Pledge of Allegiance by Attorney Corley, if you would, followed by our invocation from Councilwoman Wilson, if she would.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, we thank you for this day. We thank you, O Lord, for this appointed time. We ask, O Lord, that you forgive us of everything that's not pleasing to you. We thank you for your love. We thank you for your protection. And we thank you, O Lord, for being our provider. We thank you, Master, as we come together, that you allow us the wisdom and knowledge that we need to efficiently do what you would have us to do. And we thank you for it. In your Son, Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Thank you all so much. All right. Thank you again, Attorney Corley and Pastor Wilson. We thank you for that prayer as well. Pursuant to South Carolina Freedom of Information Act, the local media has been informed of this meeting. We're going to move forth with the approval of the agenda. If we can have a motion.
So made.
Second.
It's been properly made and second. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, let's move on to the consent agenda. We have items A through F. The approval of the minutes, April 13, 2021, City Council meeting. The approval of minutes, April 20th, 2021, the budget meeting, April 21st, Police Committee meeting, April 22nd, Fire Committee meeting, May 4th, the budget meeting, and overall the approval of the monthly bills that was added in our packets. If I can please have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you so much. We have a few items on our agenda, but for those of you who are watching, please know that council has been extremely busy the last couple of months, especially with budget meetings and planning for the upcoming budget new year. So our first item of business is letter A, the first reading of the ordinance number 21006, section 239, article 3, chapter 2, to raise revenue and adopt a budget for the fiscal year ending in June 30th, 2022. Please be reminded, this is only the first reading, even though the budget is not completed. It is our first reading that we need to get on the books. So we can have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
And ayes have it. The next item on the agenda is the Main Street USA program. This was proposed from Councilman Christian Phillips some time ago. We discussed it, I believe, twice. We had a presentation from the Municipal Association representative, Ms. Jenny. I believe we all have had time to ask questions, but first we'll move or ask for a motion, and then we'll open for discussion. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
You have the floor.
There's an addition to this Main Street program that council needs to address first. There's an application fee that has to be submitted, but we need every council member's signature on that application form to move forward with the process. So if everybody's in agreement, we can go ahead and sign off on this tonight and get the paperwork submitted so we can move forward.
What is the fee?
What is the fee? How much is the fee?
There's no application fee, but there's a $400 fee to be a part of the Main Street program. Annual fee, $400 annual fee,
Okay.
but no application fee.
And that's $400 at the entry level. And so every level, to Councilman's point, every level, there's an additional fee, but of course, we will begin the process all over. So to begin the program, as he stated, it will require the $400.
Correct.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay. So if everyone's in agreement with joining the program, it's been properly moved and second. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. And as he stated, we will need everyone's signature at the end of the meeting. All right, letter C. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Letter C is the Clean Neighborhood Initiative. As you all know, and hopefully as the public knows, on last Saturday, we had our first, not the first ever cleanup, but it's the first ever Clean Neighborhood Initiative cleanup day that took place. This is part of, or a leg of the initiative that we all brought into, we voted upon in January. This is just the cleanup portion of it. We still have the education portion of it, incentives and all this other kind of stuff that we're excited about it. But this really was, I believe, a great success in my opinion for our first turnout. And we had approximately 15 people, 3 groups that broke up different places in the city. We had representation from council that came out as well as the representatives that they sent. And so I am proud as mayor to say that I believe that we did what we were supposed to do, and it's off to a good start. What I would like to do is give Councilman Phillips an opportunity to add anything that he wants to add. And when he completes, I would like to open up the floor. We'll go district by district and kind of do a lessons learned really quickly and to see what we can do to make the event better or any ideas or feedback that we got or that you received since last week, okay? So again, we'll open up the floor to Councilman Phillips and he can give us whatever his debriefing is.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Again, like you said before, we had great success this past weekend with the Clean Neighborhood Initiative this Saturday. We'd like to thank all of the volunteers, all of the council who participated, and the donations that were provided. We awarded 2 individuals who exemplified the Clean Neighborhoods Initiative, Mr. Drew Fall, and we had also Mr. Johnny Brown. So we awarded those service awards. And that's all that I have right now. As far as, should we begin with the lessons learned or?
Yes, we can begin with District 1. Yes, sir.
I think for the next time, we do have Mullins City Council street and sanitation department and the police department and the residents. I would think the next time we get the word out through email, make sure we have a better line of communication before we plan the next date. And the next date would be August 14th for the next Clean Neighborhood Initiatives cleanup day.
And just if I heard you correctly, the point you wanted to make was police department?
Yes, the police department.
Getting their involvement?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's correct.
All right, District 2.
I wasn't here, but I had graduation. My son graduated from FMU that day, and but I did have district representation for the cleanup, and conversation with the folks that led that initiative was very positive. They were very excited about the community cleanup, the community involvement, and the initiative that was taking place from the leadership within the community as well. Another note, as we were riding back into town from graduation, my youngest son, who's 19 years old, made the comment that he had never seen council members. He's young, but he had never seen council members walking around cleaning up the streets, and he thought that was very impressive. And he likes the direction that we're heading in. and it was very inspiring for him to see that. So,
Awesome. Thank you so much, sir. District 3.
Okay, Holly. I got a question. When are we gonna do the trash cans? That was one question I was asking. I think we saw in District 3, and I hope I have the same group next time. We had a great time.
Sure.
We already know what streets we're gonna do the next time, and also, when I posted it on Facebook, I had someone suggest that we maybe get in contact with the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts because they can use it as community service. Let's
Absolutely.
consider doing that next time.
Absolutely, we can reach out to more organizations.
And I was hoping that maybe each district, each council person would start finding a person in each street or each block to kind of work with us. If you can sort of identify some folks on those different streets, if you can. If you don't know your neighborhood, you can. To help us out, and that'll also help us out. I think everybody was very pleased. Cars were stopping, people were asking questions, and just like Mr. Cameron, your son wanted to know, it was great to see all of us out there, and the awards that we're giving, 2 people that deserve that award and have been working for years. We awarded Mr. Brown, we never got around to Drew, but those are just 2 of some that love Mullins. I love Mullins. So thank you for this initiative, and I hope to see it grow. Trash cans is my concern now, because we already know where the trash cans need to be. Yeah, I just think, my God. When you get one area and you get 10 bags full in one area, that's scary.
Absolutely.
To answer your question, Mr. Kitchen, I think the last time we spoke, we were waiting on trash cans. Okay, yeah, still waiting on trash cans.
Okay.
At this moment.
And to my understanding, those street cans are on back order because of the, the color. We got the premium kind instead of just plain ones, and so
Okay.
apparently with everything going on, they're in back order.
Okay.
I want to say they're a bluish color, right? A bluish instead of just regular black, if I'm not mistaken, Tara said, Mr. Gilchrist. But whatever kind we got, it costs it to be on back order. But if y'all remember, we had 25 that we ordered. It's almost been 6 months now, but hopefully they'll help me get here. All right. My comments are positive as well. We heard a lot while we were out there, similar to what both councilmen have echoed, just people being surprised and very impressed with council and with the effort. A lot of comments that were made, I believe, were really positive and encouraging. And people saying, hey, I want to join in next time. So I think that was really good. So we're making the impact even with the 15, as you ride around those particular parts of town. And I think it was very encouraging to see a bunch of these orange vests, red vests out there. I think at one point we had about 10 or so people on one street, and I know that was very encouraging based upon some feedback that I heard, just the look of it, so I can only imagine as we get the word out better, each and every time, we have a date of August 14th, I believe, Councilman said, so we have time to really get it going. Ms. Holly took over 100 photos, those were on Facebook. We got a little bit of video for B-roll, we can put a little something together to help promote it for the next go around.
A question before you move on to District 4. We had 3 people to join us on Mullins Street.
That's right.
And I don't think they came up here. And I don't, the faces don't look familiar, but they live in my neighborhood. I need to find out who they are just to thank them.
I think I got pictures of them.
You did get pictures of them? Thank you. Because when we got on the corner, of Mullins and Front Street, they said, well, we'll go 76 and we'll do Laura and we'll get Loman. So I thought that was real nice and I thanked them. But I'm going to find them again so I can let them know when we're going to do it again. Because I think they were there just as excited as we were. And I took their bags and moved them so Tara could pick up all the bags at the same place.
Yeah, that really was encouraging. And it's my fault that they didn't make it on Facebook. When I got Miss Holly's pictures, I thought they were just someone walking with groceries, to be honest, because they had grocery bags. And so I didn't know they were part of the cleanup. And Yeah, so that's why they didn't make it on Facebook, but we'll make sure they get on there.
We gave them a bag.
We gave them a bag.
We gave them a bag.
Yeah, well, the photo she had was just garbage.
They just
They had just started, Holly.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
When they had the trash, the garbage bags,
Yeah.
they didn't have garbage bags there.
And we met up.
Yeah,
And
I
we
thought
gave
she
us a
was-
bag.
I thought she was just sightseeing with the camera. So
No.
we'll get them on there as well. All right, District 4.
We got a lot of positive feedback, echoing what everybody else has just said. And some people said, well, as long as we know when, we'll join in the next time. So we got a lot of positive feedback on that. I thought it was a success. And I tell you what, I saw some clean streets over the weekend.
Yeah.
Finally.
I think even the fact that the bags didn't get picked up till Monday,
That's all right.
which was
That's
intentional.
good.
I think it got people's minds going as well. To see, like you said, 10 bags on one street, that really puts a lot on your mind.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. District 5.
I enjoyed it, and we did pick up a lot of debris where there's one area I thought had, been picked up before, but I guess there along the railroad tracks, each side, Front Street and the other side, there's just a lot of trash because there are eateries close by, and it was, lots of things. I think I may have gotten a few plastic trash bags from a year or 2 or 3 ago, and a lot of bottles, but I went ahead and picked those up because, that's part of the litter, to get all plastic and glass and beer and sodas or whatever, And I will say this, I found out that your mayor has some special skills, mechanical skills, because I had brought my own pick-me-up type thing from home, and all of a sudden, it wasn't a screw, it just sort of disassembled itself, so it wouldn't. So I asked him, did he see how that was supposed to be? And he looked at it for a minute, played with it for a minute, and he said, you got a pen? And I said, I have a pen. And he fixed it. So, and it was still, it worked fine when we finished up. But now, it was strange how we worked our way up from Front Street down by the railroad track down past the other side of Main Street and then working it up. And we were going to do some other areas, but there was so much litter in that one area. We were sort of slow. We turned around and we had heard that Smith Street had a lot, and I believe you had recommended, so we were going down there, and before we knew it, picking up glass. There's a lot of glass, and we're all, there was 5 in our group. The mayor, myself, Vanola, Spencer, I think he may have been the one that you asked to come and work.
That's right.
That I had in the classroom about 40 years ago. And then there was a young man that I don't think he'd been out of high school too long. And he may have been one of the people that you asked.
Okay.
But anyway, it seemed like everybody enjoyed it, and the time passed very quickly. And so there's a lot of places. You mentioned certain streets. I would like to go down Wine Street because that's one of the streets that in my district, and East End Street, and ask some of those people if they would help me the next time. And of course, Councilman Davis, we share, and this is common, we share Dixon Street.
And
she has one side.
And East End.
And I have the other, and East End, and I got a piece of Park Street and some of Mullins Street through there, But we just have to sort of drive ahead of time and see which ones, back when we get to August the 14th, which area we need it the most right then. But no, I think everybody enjoyed it. And the munchies were good too. I don't know who supplied those. Pizza, was that, Subway, yeah. So we were nourished as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Councilman Kitchen. District 6.
I want to say to Mr. Kitchen, you can't sell bottles anymore.
No, they were going in the bag.
I heard you talking about bottles. You can't sell them.
No, that was trash that we didn't want out there. That's part of the litter.
I'm like my counterpart here. I was enjoying my Mother's Day. We had already had it planned, but it sounds like you all had a great time, and maybe I'll join you. Maybe I'll join you the next time. What I wanted to mention is that I think Mayor mentioned the educational component. I think we need to shoot that out as quickly as possible, because it's one thing to clean up, but we need to maintain. I think neighbors and what do you call it? In other words, when we clean up, it needs to maintain.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah, it needs to maintain. And I would love to know, I will check with the police department how we're coming with littering. Because, you know, it's well, anyways. Sounds like it was fun. Sounds like it was fun.
Mayor, can I say something? In reference to what Wilson is saying, that was what I mentioned, the part of us as council getting to recognize people on every street in our district. Because once we kind of develop that and make an effort, and it's something I'm throwing out here and something I plan to do by August 14th, I'm hoping that I'll have at least a spokesperson in each area that can help me find other neighbors in the area. And that process that you're talking is long-term, that we can kind of continue that process at that time.
And another thing I've noticed is that a lot of times people that litter, they litter outside of where they live, you know, because even out at the rec center, they need more trash receptacles out there. You know, it bothers me for people to throw down their trash just wherever they are. They get to a stop sign and they just unload, you know. So that's why I mentioned police and tickets.
Absolutely. Go.
That's what I was going to mention. The mayor and I, we talked about some of these areas right along the railroad and the eating areas those seem to be some of the worst areas right there along the street. And some of it was a big grass area with the railroad, and that possibly as a source of income, as well as keeping the debris and all this, you know, the junk off the street to make it look better, and at the same time as a source of income, encouraging the police to not only look for the speeders, but look for the people that are ignoring the fact that we do have litter laws, you know.
So true.
Mayor, I hope somebody else has seen it on YouTube. Someone made a video of hoods in hood areas in, I don't know if it was South Carolina, but I know Mullins is on it.
Right.
And they came through and they found the worst streets that we got in Mullins, and it's on international now. And it's called the Hoods. And they picked our worst streets, and that's what they're showing. So I think when we got out there Saturday, that really lets me know, look, we got to start doing more. And the word is networking to the community to let them know what we are trying to initiate, and it's not going to be no one-time deal. We're wanting this to be an ongoing process, which will include every 2 or 3 months that we're trying to do this, and I'm looking to be a success. And at some point in time, I hope it's cleaned up. But when I saw that, I was really not disappointed, because it's reality.
But it's
the reality. You can't get around it. You can't.
Several cities and states. I've seen it too.
Yeah, and when I saw Mullins, I was like, what?
That's the first one I saw.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I don't know what it was called, the hood or whatever the tape is called. The video is called, but he identified. And I was like, oh wow, Mullins on there, and it's nothing good. I didn't think it was cute at all.
But that's sort of what they did in Dillon. I remember several years back, Something Another was Shame, and they I mean, national headlines over and over again with that, the,
Wall of shame.
No, corridor shade.
Yeah, corridor of shame.
that one
But
school.
look, the outcome.
Yeah.
Look at the long-term outcome. We got schools built. We got schools that are being built. We got more industries coming in our area.
So maybe the
So
bad
the
publicity
positive,
might
yeah.
turn into
Yeah.
a positive change.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, let's also keep in mind when we look at the entire program holistically, to the point everybody, I believe, is right on point with their suggestions, that there are really 5 legs that we put in the proposal. But we have the education piece, which includes getting out to the school systems, getting signage up, getting information to children, to young ones. I think when we did the study, we found out that litter starts at a certain age group. I believe it was from 18 to 35 or 16 to 35, if y'all remember. So if we can get them at the younger age to the point of education, we can get it. Remember, the other leg is prevention. What programs we've put in place to prevent littering, including the 25 signs that we've already approved, the no litter signs all around the city. We're just waiting. I think TARS has all those in, Mr. Gilcrease. Intervention, also including the commitment from chief to enforce the police chief to enforce these litter laws, and also the incentive. So I think we've gotten 2 or 3 of these started. The incentive definitely with the awards. We definitely want to continue to do the awards and continue to build up the communities. I believe that's a great idea to get individuals to help to bolster what we're doing. So I think we're off to a good start, like everyone said. But I do agree that we need to hit all these parts as soon as possible. Each part, each leg, education, prevention, intervention, and incentives, so that we can make the program bigger. And so if you can imagine, out of a city of 4,500 people, we got 15. But if we can continue to push this in between, and also to encourage people not to wait until the next citywide cleanup day, but we can engage them somehow, use social media, maybe take pictures, use a hashtag, build a community around people who are interested in cleaning up their city. That way they can be part of the conversation. So I agree with everybody's comments, and I believe that we definitely can put a strategy together. We have a Clean Neighborhood Initiative team, committee, but we also have a branding and marketing committee. So let's get together and get some proposals to figure out how we can get this thing bolstered. But I think everybody's comments are really, really great. One thing I will add about that video, I saw it too. I think one thing that a couple of things, but litter was a big part of that, but also some of those streets that were identified, there's some other bigger issues I think y'all will agree with too. Some of it wasn't litter, some of it was just our upkeep of our yards and, painting and all that kind of stuff. So if we can come up with some creative ways, maybe even some funding we can find to help people keep up their homes and keep up their yards, I think that would help with the overall.
Absolutely.
But this is something to think about. Yeah, but I definitely agree. We want our city as beautiful as possible, but we got to take action. Thank y'all for those comments.
We got a raving comment about Main Street today too. I thought I'd mention that. It says Main Street is really awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw Torch was going to be planting some of the plants he had dying or dead plants, and then he had bought new plants and put in the planters going down Main Street.
Oh, because I'm trying to figure out what Mullins
All right. Again, thank you everybody for the comments. We'll move on to item D, which is the recommendation from the Marketing and Branding Advisory Committee. The Marketing and Branding Advisory Committee has been meeting and coming up with ideas to get the image and the idea and the theme of Reimagining Mullins out to the public. Councilman Campbell is heading up that committee, and so he has some things he wants to bring. We're not going to do official recommendation, but there's some things that he wants to bring that we need to be aware of, and some updates.
One of the first things, thank you, Mr. Mayor. One of the first things that we talked about was Reimagining Mullins, was creating a new website, a redesign of our current website. What that will do is that will create an image of Mullins that we want to portray not currently where we are, but where we're hoping to go. It doesn't mean that that we're trying to make Mullins something that it's not, but we're hoping that Mullins can be everything that we believe that it can be. And that's part of Reimagining Mullins. So one of the first things that we wanted to put together was a new website. So we've been talking to VC3, who currently handles all of our IT solutions and communications. They put together a proposal that I'll be getting out to you guys that you can look over and review, and we can discuss during the next council meeting. But I'd like to start there, and that'll be a great, I think, opportunity for us to begin rebranding ourselves and start identifying what Mullins is to us and to those outside of the city. When you think about businesses that are looking to come into Mullins, one of the things that they're going to do first is go to our website presence. And they're going to see what we look like, what do we have to offer, what is the livability like, what are our crime rates like, things of that nature. How do we communicate with our citizens in the community? And so we need to be prepared for those types of things. Right now, while our current website is useful and functional, it doesn't have everything that it could have. And so this new website redesign will allow for us that opportunity to create something better. And it'll also allow for better interaction and transparency with the community, which I think will be crucial to moving forward to gaining buy-in to some of these initiatives that we're putting forward, such as the Clean Neighborhoods Initiative and things of that nature. So just be prepared for that. That's upcoming. We've also, again, talked about reimagining Mullins and what does that look like. And we've had those conversations in some of the strategic meetings that we've been having over the past several months. And we're just continuing to try to build on those ideas and bring them into fruition. It's one thing to talk about these things and then they never mature. But we want to start beginning to bring some of these things into fruition. So be on the lookout for those things.
Thanks so much, Councilman. Yes, sir.
Did everyone get one of these magazines from the Municipal Association? Because the meeting this July, it's mentioned some of the same things that would come in very handy, some of the keynote speakers and the different parts, because it says the keynote speaker, Andrew Davis, discussed how to market a city or town to build interest and excitement among prospective businesses. Another one of the speakers there will speak about using hope and inspiration to drive projects that enhance community vitality and strengthen resident engagement. So some of the programs that we will have when we go to the meeting this summer are addressed in this magazine.
Yeah. And that's the whole idea behind the Main Street program that we're trying to incorporate as well. All of those things are helping us to build Mullins in a different light than what it currently is. And I think we're definitely headed in the right direction, and the momentum is there. We just need to continue to push a little bit harder on those things, and we'll get there.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, sir, for that update and that information. So now we're going to move on to item number 6, which is committee reports that we received in our packets. We're going to specifically department reports. Our departments were asked, I asked the administrator to reach out to all of our department heads and let them know that it's very important for them to either submit a report or to be here in person going forward. And so we should be receiving those on a regular basis so that everybody can be informed. And so this is on top of your committee reports. This is departmental reports. So everybody will have access to those. Are there any committee reports?
All right, the weed and dilapidated buildings. Felicia, where are we with that?
About the same place. I haven't received anything new from anybody.
Nobody's funding? Because I thought that the option that we came up with this time, for the last 3 or 4 years, we've been trying to get grants to get your houses taken care of, and to no avail. We never got the people to sign off or complete the paperwork. So when we came up with the option this time, Felicia, Eddie, Taurus, and I, and along with the committee, we decided we'll try this, where we asked the fire department, any houses that are not too close together, 250 to tear them down. But everybody has to clean up their own property as we do it. And if it couldn't do that, then we'd have Tars come in with the backhoe, is that what the tool is called? And he would tear them down. And that's only at $1,000. I thought by now we'd have everybody would be excited about it and let us go ahead and do it, but it's not working out like I thought it was.
Well, the track hoe's not fixed, right, Holly?
Is that what our house
And
is
the track
not
hoe's
now?
still out too?
No, I think it's back.
Well, so we
Well,
have,
Tar's the short Curtis right now, because he's supposed to sit with me and go over those lists, but he hasn't had a chance.
So let me ask this, so where, in the plan that committee developed, what's the next step? When people don't comply, what's the next step? Whatever that is, we should move on it.
then I wanted to at least give, we sent the letters out, asking for them to respond. We do have a few, so I'm thinking once we get the machine out and
Right.
people start seeing the houses come down, maybe somebody else would consider. As far as coming up with another option, for right now, we didn't come up with another option. I was going over assuming that this would be it.
Okay. So was this the, and this is just a question, was this the letter that said if you didn't comply, you were going to court, or was this the letter saying, please do the right thing?
I think you can
Please do the right thing.
Well, we discussed that, our ordinances say we can do that, right?
take them to court.
No,
We get code
They
enforcement
have to be
involved.
written a ticket first.
Right, yeah, so when do we do that?
we didn't start that yet with Eddie.
No, we haven't been to that.
We didn't get it that far. We were trying to kind of just talk to them and hoping that each council person would, if it's not too much for you or too above you, to go in the neighborhoods that you don't go in. Because we don't have any neighborhoods that are so fancy. So if you're thinking that you're better than your neighborhood, then maybe you don't need to be on council. So I would hope that you would start visiting your neighborhood and letting them know that we need their assistance if they know a family member or heir. Because Mullins is in a transition when we talk about houses. 30 years ago, it was somebody was living in the homestead. Now, the homestead has air property, and that's the biggest problem. When you got air property, it's hard to get anything done unless you got folks who want to work together. And most of the air property that Felicia and I and Holly been dealing with the folks in Mullins, most of them got 10 to 20, 30, 40 people. And when you got to get signatures from all those folks, that's a problem, and that's the holdup. And I think that's what we need to make sure our citizens understand, because they are very, very blatantly tell you, you know, why you haven't had this house taken down. I can't touch your house. I think we've been saying that for the last 4, 5, 10 years. We can't touch anybody's property. That's the city council is not responsible for the property. What we can do is work with the neighborhood. And so now, only thing is, if you know anybody in the neighborhood that has an abandoned house, get with the city and let us know, see if we can work it out. I think this $1,000 deal or this $250 deal, you can't get no better than that. And you just got to be responsible for removing the debris once it's torn down. And then there are options that we can meet with those family members and think about other housing, because I just don't want to tear the houses down and you just got a vacant lot sitting there, and then we got to worry about whether or not you're going to keep it clean. There are programs that are coming into play that we might be able to invest in, and we can rebuild on some of these properties. Well, hopefully we can, but I hope by September that this Mullins is going to be looking a little bit different.
Thank you. I have a comment. Go ahead, Ms. Felicia.
I'll send those letters out again. I'll do like a second notice on
Okay.
all of them.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I have a question, sir. I thought there was some kind of loophole about that,
About which one?
about with the air property thing. There's no loophole in it. Okay, well, what about the
When you
other?
say loophole, meaning that
And I mean, there was something maybe in the state law or something that we didn't find anything.
There is, well, it's not a loophole,
No.
but it's just our ordinance, which was bringing me to our next question. And so this is, I guess, my question to the committee. What can our next steps be? Because if we want to be aggressive about it, right? Yes. Can we go ahead and just?
we need to check in to make sure. Can we actually?
Yeah.
No, fining is no problem. The thing is, when they pay it. And we asked that question a couple years ago, and they said, yeah, you can fine them and they can put it on the taxes. And when they pay the taxes, they have to pay that bill also. Well, they're not doing that. It's not being forced. They're just coming in paying the taxes that they do. But if we charge them for cutting their grass or tearing their house down, they're not paying that. So what we need to do is find out how can we.
Sounds good. So let's do this. If Miss Administrator and Clerk, let's get back together in 2 weeks, or more specifically, if you two would get back with Councilwoman Davis within 2 weeks' time with a report. Let's figure out how we can answer those questions that she just lifted. Let's get a definitive answer from Tim Harper on how we can enforce the payments. And then so that way this committee can take the next steps. I know we reviewed the ordinances. I remember having conversations with Ms. Felicia, with Chief Stetson, as well as with administrators. So it's in there. As you all know, the ordinance say you write them a ticket or a warning, they have so much to comply. If they don't comply, you can bring them before the court. You can give them a plan. If they don't do that, you can take next steps. The end result is condemning the building, which I'm sure nobody wants to do. It's not what we want to do, but it's what we have to do.
Yeah.
So I think that your committee and council as a whole has been very nice. I know for the last 5 years, I can attest to, we're asking people to do the right thing. And I personally heard you make that plea every year for people to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I just feel like sometimes you just need a ticket to do the right thing. And so let's make that move. Yes, ma'am.
I think that's the problem is you can't get them to write a ticket because they don't live here.
So
That's the main
there's got to be a way around it. There's got to be a way how, because if I break the law, I'm sure somebody's going to find me if I'm in a different state. We just got to figure out what we need to do.
Yeah, it's just like,
they put it on the taxes, but it's not been some level of approval for making sure that they are forced to pay it has not been done. That's the thing.
and it's just like you getting an out-of-state ticket from the police. Your address is on your driver's license. And I know from New York, they sent a ticket down here to somebody who had a traffic violation. That person had to either appear in court or send the fine to New York. And so if you have property in Mullins and you live in New York, maybe we can get a special type of ticket, a summons to send to them once we do whatever.
Attorney Crowley, can you give us some insight on how we do that?
Well, normally there's some address on the courthouse records for who they send the tax notices to, so we can send it to whoever, they send the tax.
So I guess it would be wherever we're sending the letters to now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
We just got to take an aggressive stand. I know it's not what we want to do, but we would send them, this is a question, I know that's not what you came in here for, but if you would answer really, either one of you. So this is the question. So we would send them a ticket or warning, whatever the case may be. We would mail it to them. If they don't comply within that time frame, we would send them a notice to appear of some sort.
Is that
how it works?
That's code enforcement. Isn't that Eddie's?
Right. It is.
Eddie's job.
It is. But is that how the law works?
I think that's how it works.
Okay. And if they don't appear, what would be the next step?
Fine
Fine them and then attach it to their tax bill.
And they have to pay it when they
All
pay the taxes.
All right.
And Mr. Mayor, also, we're members of the Municipal Association. They might be able to give us some legal advice where this problem is common in other towns similar to our size throughout the state, and might be able to tell us what we could do or can't do. And we may just have to pass some stiffer ordinances before we can do some of these things. We just have to have it
I agree.
documented with the ordinances, and that may take a while, but still we may need to do it. And I want to address one thing. that Councilman Davis had said, I had talked to someone whose family members own property here that's sort of condemned, and they want to get rid of this property. They want it torn down. But some of their cousins that had been here 40, 50, 60 years ago have these wonderful memories of being at their grandmother's or so forth, and haven't been here for 40 years and don't realize it, that the houses are falling down. They had that image of how wonderful that old house was when they were a little child, and it's just not that way anymore.
Maybe we need to include a picture of what it looks like now.
Yes.
Perhaps we need to.
And we send pictures, when we send the letters out.
Right,
We send pictures of the house, so they'll see what the house looks like now, but that's not working. I just knew that this option that we took was to asking the fire department and TARS to step in, because if they get anybody else to demolish the house, the cost is going to cost them. It's going to cost them much more than what we are asking for. I think we are very reasonable in our price, but they're still holding on to the property.
Well, we've had, the fire department has had 6 requests so far since we've initiated the fee schedule.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's a success so far. We just need to continue to get the word out.
Go ahead. Yeah, if
Yeah,
we start burning and tearing down, it might help us out. So once we get someone in TAR's department to start tearing the ones down that we can tear down, and the fire department start burning those that can burn down, we'll see where we're going from there. But in the meantime, definitely, let's look and see what the next step we can take. And if it comes, we just got to get hardcore with it, then we do.
Yeah.
But I wish it was a way that we didn't have to worry about going on the taxes. I wish we could just find them and we get the money.
Yeah.
I wish you send them another picture to refresh their memory once you send them another notice.
We're going to send a picture with that.
Another picture.
Councilman, is it on this topic?
It is.
Okay,
Another thing I was going to suggest, and Mr. Kitchen Councilman Kitchen kind of touched on it, was that we need to talk to another municipality that has had success with their dilapidated program. And there, there are going to be some that aren't our size, but again, City of Sumter, for example. Yeah.
Statewide.
Me and Holly and Felicia have been talking with them.
Yeah.
And then every little town is having the same problem we're having.
City of Sumter, I talked to them.
All over, not only just South Carolina, but everywhere is having this problem with properties.
Call City of Sumter.
Their property is.
Yeah.
The law's going to have to change with what their
Call
property
City of
is.
Sumter.
Huh?
Call City of Sumter.
City of Sumter?
Call City of Sumter. They have a very strong program. I heard them at a luncheon a couple of years ago over in the city at the Air Force Base there.
Okay.
And they were talking about their dilapidated housing program.
Well, please, can you give me a contact person?
I'll see if I can find out who the contact person is.
I appreciate that.
But they've been able to successfully do this program. Again, they're not the same size that we are, but we can scale it down to fit for Mullins. So the law is the law, so we can make it work for us.
Yeah, we can make it. I know we can make it work.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, so let's just kind of recap. And there are 3 cities I researched. I'll find my notes and bring in the council as well. In my assessment of it, for the ones that, and I agree, every city that I've read about or contacted has said they have this problem. I think what defines them, just like what we talked about on December 3rd, what defines the difference between a Mullins and a Greensville or Sumter or whoever's having success is whether or not we're willing to make the tough decisions. Condemning property is a tough decision. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody likes the idea of, quote unquote, getting something that belongs to them taken away. However, if we're going to make the tough decision to make the city look better, it's something we'll have to do. Yes. So it's in our ordinance. It's in there black and white. We've had several conversations. It's just the way to go about it, or the end result is not something that appeals widely, but we have legal options on how to get this done. We just have to decide if we're going to take the legal option. That's already in our ordinance. Nothing that we have to create is there.
Yeah.
You send a ticket, you don't comply, you come to court, you don't comply. We have it in there. We just have to be willing to pull the trigger. And so, again, what I'll ask is if 2 weeks, if Madam Clerk and Madam Administrator, if you would get back with Councilwoman Davis If we can get Attorney Corley in there, if we could get whatever needs to happen from the county, Mr. Harper, and even some data. If within that, Councilman Campbell, if you would give your examples as well for cities. Let's get all the information back, and in 2 weeks, that way her committee can come up with a report. In 2 weeks, let's figure out which route we're going to go. And even if we go ahead and pull the trigger, let's say 2 weeks from now, we start sending out letters, envelopes with warnings and tickets in them. At least they know that we're serious, and then maybe we can still give them the option just to pay $250, and they can get with all their family and say, hey, either they're going to take our property or we could do it a different way. But I just think if we're having problems with the same properties for 5 years, they're not interested. But I do agree, we do need to figure out how we can make sure, both with the grass and with the properties, that these people are paying us back. So all of that, let's get the whole plan figured out in 2 weeks. I think that should be ample enough time to get some solid answers. Because we're not reinventing the wheel, we just got to figure out how to make it work for us. Yes, ma'am.
And can it be possible we can make sure that the money that goes to the taxes, that we can create an ordinance where we get the money?
Let's work on it.
Okay.
I think we did.
Where the city
We get that back.
We get the money.
Yeah.
It's not a lot, but we get money back.
Sounds good.
money comes directly to us, yes.
All right, so we clear on that? Is that a solid plan?
Yes.
Ms. Holly, good with you? Is Felicia good with you? Attorney Corley?
Yes, sir.
All right, Councilwoman Davis?
While I'm talking, I just go ahead and thank everybody.
What, is that good with you? I'm sorry?
Yes,
Okay.
sure.
All right. Go ahead.
While I'm talking, I want to just thank everybody who participated and helped us out with the 2 clinics we had, giving them a derma shot. When we met with CDC and DHEC and did a little walkthrough to get a familiar, as I was sharing with the council the last time we met, they made us aware that the numbers were dropping, the people who have a desire to want to get the shot. Most folks who want the shot have already taken it, so it's a matter now that we just try to constantly continue to encourage people to take this shot. And they got some reasons that just make you just wonder the way they're thinking about why they don't want to take it. And between the ages of 18 and 35, I don't think I found 1 or 2 who said yes, they were willing to take it. So let's continue. We have our second date set for giving the second shot of Moderna, and that's June 5th and June the 12th, and I will make sure that the information gets out to folks so that we can take care of that. And I want to thank everybody who helped us out. I've learned that don't ever assume because one person tell you no and what they ain't gonna do, I don't care who it is. Somebody is always going to be willing to step up the plate to help you. So don't ever get caught up in thinking that this individual is so in control and he can stop the progress of what you're trying to do. They can't. No. There's always 3 or 4 more people that's willing. I don't care what you're doing. That's when it comes to the Moderna shot. What's your question?
Location, same location?
Same locations, yes, same 2 locations we'll be using. Thank the Recreation Department for letting us use the gym. And also thank Louisville PD Baptist Association Center on 76 for letting us use their site, and we can go back to those 2 sites again. Also, June 19th, you can go ahead and start putting it on your calendar. We're going to have Juneteenth Day. That's an African American celebration. We're having it in the park in Mullins, and like I said, we have already gotten some information that some folks in the city not interested in helping us out. We're going to take care of that. We don't have time for none of that. We're trying to find a way that we can bring everybody together. This is a nice event. I've had the opportunity all my life to attend Juneteenth Day celebrations all over, but to bring one back here to Mullins is exciting. We said that we were going to do it. We thought about it last year when I asked Holly to put it on the books. And because of the virus, we had said no, we wouldn't do it, but everybody's kind of going back out a little bit, so we figured we're going to give it a try and see how it works, but it's going to be something we're going to continue doing annually. Juneteenth Day is not just a day that I want people to come out and eat and drink. I want them to leave there with some knowledge of what Juneteenth Day is all about. So that's June 19th, the 3rd Saturday. It's going to be held at Smith Haven Park, and information is going out. If you know anybody who would like to be a part of it as a vendor, or whether it's food vendors or any kind of dry goods or arts or crafts or whatever, speakers who you know that want to talk about the event, let me know so we can include them on the program. So just come out and join us.
Awesome. We're in the comment section, so we'll go around to, you want to mention that?
Oh, yeah. Hey.
We'll go around to everyone in just a moment.
Friday, we're having a fundraiser at my church, Mount Olive Baptist Church. We're selling fish and cheeseburger dinners for $8. If you're interested, please let me know, or just go to the church and pick up your delicious meal. Do you think the hamburgers are good? Wait till you taste those. Would you have those? The best fish sandwiches in the world. $8. Thank you, Mayor. I had forgotten about that.
Absolutely. All right. We're in the closing part here. District 1, any comments, sir?
We have a committee report from the recreation.
Okay, go ahead with your committee report.
We have from Mr. Department Head, Mr. Floyd, we have 240 kids that eventually signed up for the recreation baseball league. We also have 13 under 15 girls and 16 and 19 girls, which were 30 of them. We also have the 4 tennis courts are going under construction. We have 4 scoreboards that have been ordered and will be probably up by June 1st. The gym right now, prices are being gathered, and it could be starting in about 60 days. And that's the report.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. And I apologize, I forgot we were in committee reports. District 2, committee report?
Yeah, from the fire committee from Chief Stetson, the fire department responded to 43 calls for the month of April. They installed 26 smoke detectors, 2 carbon monoxide detectors, and they had 2 training drills, one of which consisted of a burning of one of the dilapidated houses in the city.
Thank you, sir. We've heard from District 3 committee. District 4, committee report?
No, we're in the process of doing some things at the museum, so whenever we get our information, then I will share it.
Awesome.
There's nothing new from the court for me to share with you.
Awesome, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. District 5.
Well, we've made some references already to the streets, the cleanups. Also, with the progress of the trash collection, which is quite well. Now, people really are happy. I mean, they had so many complaints before, but now they're very happy with what's taking place. You know, we mentioned the new canisters will be in here sometime, soon. And so.
Good stuff. Thank you so much, District 6.
District 6 does not have anything other than we're still working on the budget.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Comments, we're going back in reverse. Comments before we close. District 5, you good?
I'm good.
District 4, District 3, District 2, District 1. All right, my only comment is, ladies and gentlemen, let's please remember on the 15th, which is this Saturday, we'll have the Mullins Main Street Block Party. This is in conjunction or in partnership with the City of Mullins and the Chamber. That's going to happen on Main Street from 11 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. They'll be singing, dancing, gospel, beach music, cornhole. I believe we have 14 vendors coming, food truck vendors of all types of food, from seafood to fried food to donuts, desserts, as well as vendors right here in town, both retail as well as food. There's plenty of signage going up, and we think it's going to be a really great event, as well as RC racing, which is something new that's going to happen down at the church as well. So let's spread the word, and we look to have a good time.
RC what?
Remote control.
Remote control. Oh.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. So if that's everything, we will go ahead and call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved in second. We are officially adjourned.
Did you know that Anderson Brothers Bank has been serving the community since 1933? After 88 years, we still have the same drive and passion to help people just like you.
We make loans available with credit scores as low as 550 at rates you won't believe.
Come see us if you're purchasing a used vehicle, have an unexpected expense, or to take that dream vacation.
Anderson Brothers Bank, helping our customers save thousands in interest with our personal loans for years.
Visit abbank.com for more information.
Raspberries and Times Restaurant, newly opened in downtown Marion, offering new choices in healthy eating and desserts. We are open for breakfast and lunch from 7 a.m. until 2 p.m. Come pick out your new favorite feel-good food. Raspberry and Times welcomes call-in orders or dine with us at 329 North Main Street in Marion.